Hello, my axolotls. I'm gonna read this cool story I found. It's a one-shot story. Birthday abduction. Yandere Hoodie, teen female raider. So, yeah. I smiled as I went through the mail. Cards from my family had arrived today, and I was happy. They at least remembered my birthday. But it sucked that they couldn't make it. In the pile of cards, there was one that I didn't recognize. It had no name or address, but it said Lana, which freaked me out. The envelope was dirty and kinda heavy. Hesitantly, I opened it and a small blade fell out. On the blade was dried blood. Gasping, I jumped back and looked at the paper inside. It had been covered in dried blood stains and baked mud. I wanted to scream for my parents, but they weren't home. Slowly, I grabbed the letter and started to read. It had nothing to do with my birthday, but instead it was informing me that I was to be abducted by him, my stalker who went by the name Hoodie. That's a pretty funny name. It didn't say when, but the letter stated that he was always watching me, and if I left right now, he'd kill me. Shaking, I placed the letter under my mattress and decided to follow the roof. I couldn't tell anyone about him or he'd kill my parents and me. I sat on my bed and began to cry as I looked at the ceiling, scowling. I closed my eyes and began to fall asleep. When I woke up, I saw that someone was hovering above me. Hello, birthday girl. He spoke under a black mask with a red stitched-on frown. I wanted to scream, but he quickly shoved one of my socks in my mouth. I gagged on the taste of sweat and spat out the sock. He went to reshove the sock into my mouth, but I wrestled with him. He threw the sock over his shoulder and covered my mouth with his hands. Now listen here, he growled, and I nodded. He chuckled. Good, you're to come with me. If you scream or fight back, I will kill you and your parents. My eyes widened, but I nodded. Smart. He removed his hands from my mouth and I sat up in my bed. He grabbed my waist and threw me over his shoulder. Hey! I hissed and he started to jump with me on his back, which was making me feel sick. Okay, you're in control. Forget I said anything. I whimpered and he seemed to have chuckled. He moved to my window and jumped out with me, still on his shoulder. I closed my eyes since the outside was way too bright for me. Hoodie, my kidnapper, started off in a sprint, and I wondered if any of my neighbors saw this. I mean, surely the old lady who walks her dog about this time noticed a man in an orange hoodie holding a girl over his back. Somebody should have saw this happening, right? With each step that Hoodie made, I felt sick. My stomach churned, and I felt like I was going to throw up. Please slow down to a walk, I groaned, and Hoodie threw me onto the ground. My back hit a tree root, and I groaned. He stood above me. His red-stitched eyes stared into mine. Don't hurt me, please, I whispered, and he got on his knees and brought his head closer to mine. His thumb and forefinger grabbed my chin. You are mine. Repeat that, he urged in an angry tone. I am yours. He shook my head with his finger. Again, he yelled. I am yours. I spoke this time with no stutter. Scream it, he urged. And I blinked back tears. I am yours, I screamed, and he chuckled. His other hand caressed my thigh. Good girl. He pressed his masked lips onto mine and pulled back quickly. He hit me over the head and I felt dizzy. He threw me over his shoulder and everything got dark. I was still breathing slowly and he carried me to wherever. That was an insane one, but that one was also funny at the same time. So, like and subscribe and I'll do another one. Bye!